The new and improved block party weekend on the new Classic Q104.3. Our buddy Joe Walsh, a block including Rocky Mountain Way and Life's Been Good and Funk number 49 in the days when Joe was with the James Gang. This is Paul Cavalcante. It's Sunday. We're hanging out. We're just playing blocks.
We'll play the tar.
Good morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Morning, I-Man. Kill any dogs lately?
No, I haven't.
I thought you'd be joyful about that dead dog story up at the Iditarod that Chuck read earlier.
Well, no, I'm not, and I didn't kill a guy's dogs or run over one of your old girlfriends.
Man. Girlfriends.
So the 800 number is...
The only old girlfriend I have is you.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
So somebody told me that George Raveling was pretty much a nitwit.
You ought to get him on and have him tell you the story about... He has the original copy of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. He was a security guard on the podium.
He did a good job of security. Look what happened to Martin Luther King. That old incompetent thief, George Raveling, who essentially killed Martin Luther King and then stole his speech. Now, continuing his mission to regain political viability, here is the biggest united we stand, 8 draws per oath.
Wrong on all counts, Amos. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Now listen to me carefully. Don't care if you time in what Bob Dole's doing, or Bill Clinton, or that virus. And as for running for president, you can take the... Simpson, Amos. I admit it. I'm hooked harder than 4 freaks on a cocaine catheter from Colombia. I know. The end thing is to say that you have no interest in it. Boring, tedious, all that. But let's just take a look at a couple of charts I brought with me. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this line here that's hanging like a limb pecker, that there's your 46% of the population that claims they couldn't care less if O.J. Simpson disintegrated from his gimpy knees up. Okay? They're flat out lying, Amos, trying to be politically correct. Because this area here that's shooting off the chart is the 98% of the damn lying public that in fact really is watching. And that includes me. You know why? Because the suckers got everything but a plane crash and a tractor pull. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, and scum-sucking attorneys. Watching this Cochran works makes me wonder what he's going to do once this thing's over.
Yeah.
You know, Amos, I admire him because I can see a lot of Ross Perot in him. Dumber than a Mississippi pimp, but thinks he's slicker than a Wonder Frog. You know, making something out of nothing. Just like a good old Lone Star bottom feeder, Amos. Robert Shapiro was saying the other day about how their dream team of attorneys couldn't afford to have any snakes in bed sleeping with them.
Right.
But I guess an occasional lizard's okay, right, Bob? Actually, Amos, the only thing I'm getting pretty sick of is you going on about it and pretty much making a fool out of yourself. Leave that to Lance Ito and the LAPD. Well, nothing really political today, Amos.
Or funny.
So here's your closer.
Yeah?
If Johnny Cochran ever goes after somebody with a bone-handled knife, it won't be too tough to track him down. Forget evidence, just follow the slime trail. And that there's H. Ross on O.J., Amos.
Yeah.
Much obliged for having me on your show.
Sure.
Hey, you got that Ann Taylor Fleming's phone number? I'm feeling like a massage.
Imus in the Morning. 2020 Sports. Tipping now between the circles.
In the lame excuse of the night award, Golden State's Latrell Sprewell showed up almost 9 minutes late in the first quarter in last night's Warriors Sonics game, saying he got lost driving to the arena. He heard there was a traffic jam, tried to take a shortcut, and wound up going to Los Angeles.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Well, here's my question for you, Warner.
Yeah.
Is Bill Parcells worth the first-round pick?
Yes. They have to save face. Now, alternatives for Parcells, he could sit out a year without pay.
Right.
He could coach the Patriots, or he could return to broadcasting.
Right.
How about a fat farm for a while?
Thank you, bitch,
princess, with you.
To you, pig.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Screaming about the Knicks beating the Bulls. We have to put up with that this morning. What a nightmare. All right, here now with observation and comment on headline issues of the day. From the hood, Imus in Washington, Snoop Doggy Dog.
I think it's about time for me to hit these against the upside the head with some of that West Coast gangster shit. Oh, wait.
Breaking from the pack just like an 8 ball. Snoop Dogg getting ready to make a booty call. Like the VP working talking on the phone. Getting ready for the pictures, I'm putting on cologne. And I'm looking for some place for me to bury my bone doggy style, but position missionary. Like a bridegroom on his honeymoon. Knocking boots with some hottie in the liquor bedroom. Gotta howl, gotta holler, cause I hot under my collar. About the controversy brewing over campaign dollars. The new charity is called the DNC. Take a fundraising to new heights of felony. Reach out and get touched by Al Gore. Asking you to be a donor. Got money piled up on the floor. Spend a night in the White House, page 2 of the brochure. Mistakes were made was the Bill Clinton quote, but the biggest one was ours when we gave him our votes. Juvenile delinquents, they got reason to repent if they know they can still grow up to become the president. Say soup, upside your head. 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 How do you measure masculine and feminine when Ellen's coming out and Bo wanna get back in? Don't wanna diss Riddick, but I think if I was pushed, rather Ellen got my back out in the bush. But if Bo's problems missing folks at home, maybe he should be considering a clone. Get one Riddick to enlist, while the other one could be a pugilist. But at the risk of sounding like a pessimist, black folks gonna be last on the human cloning list. But I don't think that's necessarily unfair, cause the last thing we need is more of us on welfare. Upside your head, say soup, upside your head. Say soup, upside your head. Say soup, upside your head.
Police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. That cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on. And thrown in jail, we can go toe to toe in the middle of a sale. With me cause I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager. Searching my car, looking for the product, thinking every nigga is selling narcotics. Imus in the morning.
Let's go to the audio tape.
We are the champions, my friend.
The Knicks conquer the Bulls. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. This sportscast sponsored by your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. Last night at Madison Square Garden, good. 1 out over evil as the Knicks beat the Chicago Bulls 97-93.
I know you're going to find this difficult to believe, but I was reading Fred Goodman's book, The Mansion on the Hill, about rock and roll, right? And I looked up, and the Knicks were ahead by 13 points with about 4 minutes ago, right? And then I looked up again, and they were only up by 2 points. And I actually hoped they won. They would win.
I don't believe it.
Well,
we don't want you to root for us now.
I'm not rooting for them.
Bandwagon.
I'm not rooting. No, I'm not getting on any bandwagon. But I mean,
Can't you see the goodness in that team?
no, they're a bunch of thugs. But I like Patrick Ewing, and I was glad they won.
Well, Patrick Ewing was a majestic warrior.
It doesn't mean anything because they won't even get by Miami in the playoffs. But
Didn't we bet $1 million on this game?
no, we didn't. You can't put up the $1 million. If you can put up that $1 million, then we'll bet.
I said I'd find the money.
Well, fine. You have to put it up. We have to put it in escrow. I'm prepared to put up $1 million.
Ewing 32 points, including the game-clinching shot with 7 seconds left. He banked it in from the corner, and he was defended on the play by the Chief, 43-year-old Robert Parrish.
But I made him alter the shot a little bit, so I was able to make him shoot over something. I think that's why it was such a peculiar-looking shot, because the shot was altered. Hell of a shot, though. Bank shot from the corner. I said earlier, if there's such a thing, I think the basketball gods smiled on that shot tonight.
Well, they did because it was a lucky shot. He just threw it up. So
43-year-old Robert Parrish. As for Ewing, he talked about the difference in the game.
Usually, we'll stop.
Why do you think I play the kites?
I don't know.
For amusement. For your sole amusement.
I don't want to. I just don't. Is there something?
Why play any kite?
Well, no, but I mean.
That's going to be my attitude from
Why
now
are
on.
you
I'm gonna come in
screaming?
and just report the story.
Why are you screaming at me?
Because it's the first cast and you're already blowing up
Well,
the
no,
kites.
but I mean, God.
Cranky because Charles isn't here.
You're starting to scare me.
Well, don't blow up the kites,
All
please.
right, I'm sorry. I won't do it anymore, I promise.
All right. You want to hear that one?
Yes, I
I
do.
thought Patrick made a very good point.
Okay, well, let's hear what the point is. All right.
We'll stop them on defense, but then we'll go down and on it.
Now, see, I wasn't doing anything. I would just...
No.
Yeah.
He just wiggle his
That
ear.
nervous twitch you have, I suppose.
My neck hurts.
You're going to have a twitch by the end of the day.
Leave me alone.
Oh,
Go ahead.
for Michael Jordan, he had 36 points, but he took 63 shots. Jordan said it was one of the worst feelings he's ever had after a game.
It was a nightmare. A horrifying nightmare.
Bulls' 8th loss of the season, and for the Knicks, their 7th win in a row.
Great.
Also, red-hot Portland Trailblazers, they won their 6th in a row. P.J. Carlissimo's team doing a terrific job.
You know,
They
it makes
beat
me
the Seattle
sick
Sonics.
seeing Woody Allen sitting there with
His daughter.
with his daughter.
Crying out loud.
Well, what is that all about? I mean, that's just...
I suppose he loves her.
Oh,
People
come
say the
on,
same
I mean-
thing about you when they say you and him.
Well, no, I married my daughter. I mean, come on here. Ugh.
College
Go ahead.
basketball with 64-team field is all set. Number one seeds,
Little creep.
North Carolina,
Woody
Kansas, Minnesota, and Kentucky.
Scum.
3 of those 4 teams will make it to the Final Four. Teams who did not get in but should have, and are very upset, Syracuse, Michigan, Fordham, and Southwest Missouri State, all being nixed by the NCAA Selection Committee.
Well, I saw a team at like a 24-8 record or something, or 24-6 record didn't get in.
Southwest Missouri State.
What's that all about?
It's a disgrace. It's a fix.
You know, the most key... The host of March Madness on CBS television, Pat O'Brien. Good morning, Mr. O'Brien.
Morning, I-Man. Kill any dogs lately?
No, I haven't.
I thought you'd be joyful about that dead dog story up at the Iditarod that Chuck read earlier.
Well, no, I'm not, and I didn't kill a guy's dogs or run over one of your old girlfriends.
Man.
Girlfriends.
So the 800 number is...
The only old girlfriend I have is you.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
So somebody told me that George Raveling was pretty much a nitwit.
You ought to get him on and have him tell you the story about... He has the original copy of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. He was a security guard on the podium.
And he did a good job of security. Look what happened to Martin Luther King.
An old incompetent thief, George Raveling, who essentially killed Martin Luther King and then stole his speech. All right, it's 1964, and Lyndon Johnson is just whooped up on Barry Goldwater. And out there...
Kennedy.
Thank you. I'd like to speak to you for a moment this morning on a subject of grave concern to me that I have been reluctant to speak out on, given certain difficulties I've had in past times. I can be silent no longer. My party and my president are under a terrible assault over the issue of campaign fundraising. It is wholly unfair and deeply upsetting. Could I get a little something over here to, steady my nerves? Just 2 fingers. No, 3. A fist. Make it a fist. Thank you. What has my president done? Our top Justice Department official, Janet Reno, believes he's done nothing. So do I. Let us examine the record. First, it is alleged that the separate issues of Whitewater, Webster-Hubbell, the Lippo Bank, and the government of China are beginning to overlap and blur.
Yeah.
I fail to see what's so troubling about that. From my position in the United States Senate, lines between things have been blurred throughout my entire political career. Item 2. The president and or vice president have entertained foreign visitors who contributed to the Clinton-Gore re-election effort.
Yeah.
A simple case of exaggerated misperception. Ask yourselves, when have you not presented a hostess gift after being invited to a casual gathering? You know, a nice bottle of wine, a thoughtful knick-knack, $500,000. Thirdly, it is alleged that certain Chinese entrepreneurs visited the White House, in one case 92 times, and in another 54 times.
Wow.
What on earth, people have asked breathlessly, could they have been up to going there all those times? The answer is as innocent as it is simple, and has satisfied our Attorney General. They were delivering cashew chicken. Yes, Johns, Wang, and Chung, and Charlie Tree are all Chinese businessmen. From the walk around the clock takeout on Connecticut Avenue in Bethesda. Now, it is charged that money has been laundered.
Yes.
And indeed it has. Who hasn't left $1 or 2 in a pocket now and then when sending clothing to the cleaners? Now, that's the misinformation. Yes, money was laundered in new intensified Tide with miracle bleach enhancers. And finally, it is further reported that Webster-Hubbell took $400,000 donor dollars to dissuade him from talking right before he went to prison for stealing his legal client's money. And right before he was retained to perform unknown work for the Lippo Group. And right before Lippo's top executive became an official in the U.S. Commerce Department with top secret clearance. Then right before my president announced U.S. approval for a $2 billion joint project with Lippo and the government of China. Well, I'm still working on that one. And so, let the word go forth from this its time and place. Ask not what my president has done. Ask rather what he hasn't done.
What?
No, wait a minute. It didn't come out right. Ask not what my president hasn't done. Ask if he's ever done anything. No, that's still not it. Ask not what did he know and when did he know it. Ask rather what did he take and where did he take it. That's much better. Thank you.
The preceding was a paid political announcement on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, a wholly owned subsidiary of the People's Republic of China. Roy Romer, Dick Morris, Chairman.
Once there was this guy who got a little drunk and thought his car was a canoe, but when it went into the water, he saw fishes in his rearview mirror. He never burned his bridge as he'd only just drive off them. Once there was this guy who was elected president but didn't have a clue. A woman said in a hotel room he was there with his pants round his ankles. She didn't really like when he said she made his knees knock. But both boys are Democrats. There's nothing worse than that. Except this other guy who went on Larry King and told the country what to do. He said that he could do much better. His ears were just like satellite dishes. He said it made it easy to hear the folks on Pluto.
Then some bioengineer acted cavalier, tried to cross a new frontier. Now I fear he's achieved it. His efforts, well, they were feverish, till he got something to growing in his petri dish. Ma said, be careful of what you wish, or you'll end up with quite another kettle of fish. Check out that embryo now. It's starting to congeal. How does it feel? It doesn't seem real. It's mighty hard to condone. Playing with chromosomes. Now they've grown your clone. I always found it hard to sleep, and I used to count them sheep till Bo Peep began to weep because she'd lost one or two of them. And nobody gave a damn till Mary had a little lamb through a scientific scam, and now Bo, she's got quite a few of them. This whole thing make me so damn afraid. Mother Nature should have never been disobey. Only God knows what kind of mess you made since you started messing with that DNA marinade. You having chicken that act like a quail for your next meal. How does it feel? What's the appeal? Out there in the unknown, scientific milestones with amoral undertones. Now that they've grown a clone. Oh, thought it was a little funky when them scientific flunkies feeling spunky took a monkey and made him a double. Just by splitting genes like a pair of gabardines, I know you think it's keen, but it could mean trouble. Cause it's one thing to replicate a chimpanzee, quite another when you talking about you and me. Is this better living through chemistry? When a man starts acting like he a deity, the laws of reproduction now have all just been repealed. How does it feel? Does it seem real? No longer on your own, staying home alone.
Pounding his dribble. Dump to Ewing. Ewing against Parrish. Fires the jumper. Oh, off the glass! He didn't mean to do that. He banked it in, 97-93. Do you think he meant to do that? Of course not.
The Bulls shocked and dismayed. Good morning, Mike Brain with sports.
Of course not.
Neil Funk, the call on WMVP. The sportscast sponsored by your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer. The Big Bad Bulls left Madison Square Garden whimpering last night as the New York Knickerbockers, with their assortment of heroes, climbed the mountain, beating the Bulls 97-93. And while the Knicks rejoice, the Bulls doubting themselves now after being manhandled by a better team. But Michael Jordan had a message of hope for the fans of the Bulls.
My friends and fans, together, we will see this through to the very end. I love you very much.
An emotional Jordan saying it's not over yet.
Hey, Brain,
Yeah.
you know who stopped in at Auto Body Express last week?
Who?
Your agent.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you give him a deal?
Oh, no, I made you a lot better deal. Hey, he's Frances's agent, too, isn't he?
That's correct.
Yeah, I made you both a real good deal.
Handsome fella, isn't he?
Yeah, he is actually a very nice guy.
How would you like Fred negotiating your deal for you?
It'd be great.
This is a guy who makes salsa that he can add that he absolutely can't make any money on because it costs so much to make the stuff, and then to put the paper tops on it that he's losing money trying to sell salsa. That's the guy who's negotiating your deal for you.
I'll be making appearances at phone booths on the turnpike now, working weekends.
Yeah, you'll be putting tops on these salsa jars.
Oh, what else going on?
While Jordan was optimistic and hopeful, Robert Parrish was less optimistic. The Chief ripped the Bulls' teammates.
Yeah, definitely. Nobody wants to step forward, you know. Little bowls. Little bitty bowls. Baby bowls.
So the Chief, knowing what time it is, knowing the Knicks right now are the better NBA club.
Was he talking about his teammates' testicles?
Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Chief doesn't mince words.
It's a little.
I was talking about their earlobes. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, I couldn't understand him.
Bitty balls. Little bitty balls.
Well, yes, but I didn't know what he was saying.
Christmas ornaments. Talking about their tootsies.
Well, who knows what he's saying?
Get the ear horn. Give the young man his ear horn.
Well, I mean, that seems a little harsh for the Chief, doesn't it? Well,
Did he mean,
not to mention, of course, that's a comment he made about 5 years ago when he was with the Boston Celtics. But, you know,
at least you picked up on that.
It's 27 after the hour. Here in the morning program. Yeah, you can't slip anything by the hour.
Oh, man. Was that last night? Sharp as a whip.
What is that? Well, what's our intern's name?
Dave.
I'm gonna tell you, Dave is very weird, don't you think?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Not the fact that he wears a beanie on his head. Just...
Where does Dave come from?
He lives in Long Beach, Long Island.
Now, what school is he attending?
Queens
College.
Oh, jeez. What a shock. Communications major.
Not Harvard. What's the matter?
Well, I mean, do we get these interns in here? Give me the creeps.
He's doing an excellent
Well,
job.
he's a nice kid and all that. I mean, they're all nice kids, but I don't know. There's just
He's not the Kelly Bundy look-alike we were hoping for.
and then we have a dump truck in here 2 or 3 days a week. Have you seen him?
Yes, of course I have.
It's about 6'5", 380 pounds. Lumbered around here getting his coffee. I mean, I don't know.
I like the old days, eh, man?
No, well, no, it's not, is it, Mike?
No.
You want to go into the old days, do you? It's 28 after the hour. Fred, do you have anything else?
No. Then get off.
Then get off the
Hang
phone.
up.
Then hang up.
Go fall asleep. I'm not hanging up.
I love you, Fred, and I'll call you later.
Go make me some biscuits.
Well, some biscuits and mustard.
Go some fries. Go pee on your dog's head or something.
Yeah.
Come up with something.
Yeah, go do something funny and call us back. All right, my brother's appearance here is sponsored by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. Why, I have no idea. So, and the March Madness sale continues at the Auto Body Express. You get 2 jugs of Fred's hot stuff and 2 bags of turquoise pump fluid. $1 million. Good morning, Howard.
Yeah, hey, no, it's Howard.
Okay.
Where's Hume? Great guest. From ABC to the Fox News Network. What a step up.
Well,
What happened? QVC wasn't hiring? $15 million for my movie, man.
yeah.
Not bad for a picture to make showgirls look like Gone with the Wind, huh? I hope that's enough for everyone to realize you're not the one responsible for the dumbing down of America. How long till you decide to copy me make a movie?
I got a thing in the works now with DreamWorks called Spare Parts.
Oh, yeah. If you expect anybody to see it, you better figure out a way you can get Catherine Graham and Marjorie Egan to take their tops off. Cokie Roberts shouldn't be too hard. All you need to get her to flash her high beams is a cold bottle of Thunderbird. Personally, I'd pay good money just to see Laura Ingraham eat a whole kielbasa. Hey, I heard you talking about the Knick game.
Yeah.
You know, it's really ironic, you complaining about Woody Allen dating his daughter. You know, not only are you old enough to be Deirdre's father, you lived in Connecticut back in the days when you were drinking. For all you know, you could be her father.
Full fun. I smell smoke in the auditorium. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. That Charlie Brown, he's gonna get gone. Just you wait and see.
Why is everybody always picking on me?
Imus in the morning.
In the words of Al Franken, Rush Limbaugh is a big fat idiot. And here he is now. Good morning, Rush.
Nothing could be finer than another way to Milana in the morning. Nothing could be sweeter than a federal subpoena in the morning. Ah, forgive my paroxysms of unrestrained joy, my friends, but my revelry knows no bounds. 'Tis great to be a conservative these days, and it's all due to the fact that, to paraphrase the bard from A Midsummer Night's Dream, what fools these liberals be. I'm sorry, I should be a little more sensitive, as this is, coincidentally, in light of my Avon analogy, a tragedy for the president of Shakespearean proportions.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Macbeth, whose blind ambition drove her husband to his untimely end, somewhat reminiscent of our country's first lady, McBubba, is it not? Now is certainly the winter of our discontent, but let me tell you, Shakespeare's odious hunchback King Richard III ain't got nothing on our Hillary. Al D'Amato has maintained all along that something is rotten in the state of Arkansas. And I would add, something rotten. For once Hillary is through suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune sent forth by Kenneth Starr, her reputation will be sullied to the point where she'll wander the darkened hallways of the White House murmuring, "Out, out, damn spot." I feel a sudden surge of conservative creativity coming on, folks. The poetic muse has made herself known to me, and so I believe I'm about to spew forth some spontaneous verse. And in keeping with my tribute to the bard, it shall be a Shakespearean sonnet, my ode to the first felon. Shall I revel in your agony? Miss Hillary, this ain't no misdemeanor. The doubt about your lack of honesty led the feds to issue a subpoena. You say you're just a down-home country girl who married a young aspiring goober, but into the web of deceit you twirled. Now the hammer's dropped by Carolyn Huber. A prisoner of your own blind ambition, you've drunk too deep the bitter white water. No contrition by your own admission. Your cattle futures have gone to slaughter. They say that truth in life will oft prevail. If that be the case, then you're off to jail. To be or not to be, Hillary, I think you be not to be
very soon.
All right, here now on the Imus the Morning program, the Fat Cootie, Rush Limbaugh, and the Blow This, with an ode to Al Franken.
You and me, we don't see eye to eye. It seems that I'm your favorite thing to vilify. Now I won't grumble, and I won't whine. But if your name fits your face, you'd be Al Frankenstein. I'm so glad that I'm not you, you homely little liberal Jew. You write a book, call me a big fat idiot. About how I look, you say things that are hideous. I may be a meanie and without tact, but you wear a beanie and you have hair on your back. I'm so glad that I'm not you, you homely little liberal Jew. Plastic surgery's overdue, you homely little liberal Jew. But you haven't got a clue, you homely little liberal Jew. I'd expect to hear you moo, you homely little liberal Jew. You think you're clever, taking shots at me, but you've got no recourse while I own the EIB. So let's just call this song my quid pro quo. Hear my response coming out of every radio. You're not good enough and smart enough, it's true. Doggone it, nobody likes you. But you haven't got a clue, you homely little liberal Jew. Hey, Al Franken, you homely little liberal Jew.
Wait a minute.
You homely little liberal Jew.
We're talking with Al Franken. I just mentioned.
Can I do my impression of D'Amato leading an ethics investigation? Is a little like getting Bob Dornan to head up a mental health task force. We are simply attempting to ascertain the veracity of the First Lady vis-a-vis and in regard to the contradictions and discrepancies, which I think mean the same thing.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
I own more guns than I need, but less guns than I want.
That's a great Phil Graham.
I heard him say that to the NRA, and I thought to myself, this guy's very different than me.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
But they just genuinely hate each other. Because they used to be trained by, Johnny Tapia used to be trained by, when they were growing up, he used to be trained by Danny Romero's father.
Caesar Romero.
No. and then Johnny Tapia, had the same kind of problem the I-Man had.
What was that?
Doing a little cocaine.
Idiot.
And acting like a moron. But now he's got himself straightened out again. So, but while he was having a problem, the Romero family dissed him.
That's it. Man built up that fight.
Well,
a great promoter.
It's going to be a huge fight.
Don King.
Huge fight. Huge fight.
Wow.
All right.
This Imus in the Morning Sports Report brought to you by your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. 64 teams all ready to begin on Thursday for the NCAA title. Come on, get some more teams in there. Why limit it to 64? Well, how about 128? 256? Let everybody in. Come on. Look at some of these records. Southwest Texas State, 16-12. Jackson State, 14 and 15. Come on.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Fairfield, 11 and 18.
Get him out.
Come on, get some more teams in there.
Have you picked your Final Four yet, Warner?
I never pick a Final Four.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll give you 3 reasons.
All right, here we go.
Number 1, I graduated from American University. They're never going to be in there.
Okay.
So I have no team to root for. Number 2, I don't bet on the games.
Right.
And number 3, I don't have any relatives going to any of the schools.
Oh, okay.
I don't care who wins.
Oh, okay.
Right, Warner. It makes no difference to me. Get the games over with. I hate them. And what's worse, we have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning before we do the news.
Oh, okay.
Because CBS is televising the games. Play fast. 3/4. Get these games over. Who's watching the news at 1 o'clock in the morning? Nobody.
Nobody's watching at 11 either, Warner. By the way.
Finally, how times have changed.
Yeah.
Red Sox shortstop John Valentin has returned to the Red Sox training camp after a one-day protest. Was Valentin upset over being mistreated? No. Was Valentin upset because the Red Sox wanted to cut his pay? No. He left because the Red Sox wanted to move him to second base. Come on, give him a bottle. For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
I'm going to fight for the prestige, not for me, but to uplift my little brothers who are sleeping in concrete floors today in America. Black people who are living on welfare. Black people who can't eat. Black people who don't know no knowledge of themselves. Black people who don't have no future.
The king is going home to get his throne. From the root to the fruit, that's where everything started at. I think Mohammed is a prophet. How you going to be God's son? Anybody love poor people and little people got to be a prophet. He was champion of the world, had a long table full of food, had a house for his mother, one for him, and he told him to take it and share it. If he couldn't love his God, what you think he is? Mister?
Imus in the morning.
On America's most influential broadcaster, Paul Harvey.
Hello, Americans. Stand by for news. And as always, the rest of the story. Got another scandal. Not Washington this time. No, forget for the moment. Filegate, Paulagate, Fostergate, Al Goregate, and all the rest. Dateline, West Cranston, Rhode Island. Doggate. Have you heard about it? You have if you listen to this program. Jump back with me. A fellow named Grant calls Don Imus the other day. Pooch is missing. Child chomping Ridgeback pit bull. Let him out to go piddle and gone. Answered to the name Elvis, who's dead, you know. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, Grant called asking Imus to please alert the gentlefolk of West Cranston that Elvis was lost and could they help find him. Grant, what in the world were you doing letting a pit bull stalk the neighborhood? You should fall in front of a semi, but, well, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Anyway, Grant got a compassionate hearing. Oh, to be sure, producer Bernard McGurk, ever the cut-up, muttered the unfortunate aside, Elvis is roadkill. But the I-man was sympathetic.
Yeah.
Right up until the moment when Grant said that the radio talker had, well, in his opinion, had bet over and spread him for Senator Christopher Dodd during a not-so-many-days-ago interview. How did our I-man react? Here's what Grant and you and I heard.
I hope your dog's dead.
And now, the rest of the story. Page 2. You know, Kennel Chum, pets die every day in this country. Oh, that's right, little Johnny. Ruffles won't be with you forever. No, a year or two from now, Ruffles, backyard, shoebox. But sometimes Ruffles, and yes, even pit bulls named Elvis, get their tickets punched prematurely. Scandal? You judge it. Remember the I-man's expressed desire?
I hope your dog's dead.
Well, Grant called back next day, didn't you, Grant?
Yeah, some bad news, baby. I just got a call, and he got hit, and he was alive when they found him. He'd been gone a week. That's the bummer about it. I guess somebody hit him on the main road right outside the development, you know. His back was broken, and there's nothing they could do for him. I just wish I had been there with him, you know. I didn't get a chance to see him when they put him down.
Oh. Well, Paul Harvey to Don Imus. Not for me to say, canine aside, not for me to say, dog murderer. Well, but careful what you wish for, eh, Frisky's friend? No Cleveland Amory Man of the Year award for you this round, and sadly, no 3-dog night for Grant. Or 2. Or 1. For you see, Elvis is with Elvis. Paul Harvey, good day.
On a cold, wretched day, October 5th, 1877, at 4 p.m., high in the Bear Paw Mountains of northern Montana, the great Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce Indian Nation surrendered to the U.S. cavalry.
Tell General Howard I know his heart. What he told me before, I have in my heart. I am tired of fighting. Our chiefs are killed. Looking Glass is dead. The old men are all killed. It is the young men who say yes or no. He who led the young men is dead. It is cold, and we have no blankets. The little children are freezing to death. My people, some of them have run away to the hills and have no blankets, no food. No one knows where they are, perhaps freezing to death. I want time to look for my children and see how many of them I can find. Maybe I shall find them among the dead. Hear me, my chiefs. I am tired. My heart is sick and sad. From where the sun now stands, I will fight no more forever.
Imus in the morning.
Just like a woman, just do you make love just like a woman. Just do then you ache just like a woman. But you break just like a little girl. Imus in the morning. Oh yeah, Imus in the morning.
This is the Imus in the Morning radio program. The preceding was a paid political announcement on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, a wholly owned subsidiary of the People's Republic of China. Roy Romer, Dick Morris, Chairman.
Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me. Whiskey River, don't run dry. You're all I got, take care of me. Imus in the morning.
The game was in Dallas last night, and certainly could have been back here this morning, couldn't he?
Easily.
Easily been back, but
It's not very far. It's a far to Dallas.
But
3 hours.
a lot of people are frankly happy that Warner's here, and
Who cares who wins?
nobody.
NBA last night, the Bulls beat the Celtics 32 for Jordan, who passes John Havlicek and moves into 6th place in the all-time scoring list. He will also pass Oscar this year and become the 5th leading scorer.
Oscar who?
Oscar Robertson.
Oh, okay.
Madison. When they're that big.
Why didn't you ask Oscar who?
Who would it be? Of
Well,
course,
it's the same-
Oscar.
It's the same deal with Billy Bob.
Billy Bob's a recent arrival on the scene, for crying out loud.
Oh, just please be quiet. Go ahead, Warner. I'm sorry you have to be witness to this ugliness.
The Knicks had won 7 in a row. The Mavericks had lost 7 in a row. Somebody forgot to tell the Knicks. Dallas 91, the Knicks 83. Play-by-play man Mike Breen and Walt Frazier.
Downloaded Dreiling against Ewing. Dreiling dribbles across the lane, turns, shoots over Ewing and puts it in. And thrusts his fist in the air. The Knicks need a timeout. And Dreiling spinning, winning 8 feet away in the paint.
5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. A standing ovation for the Mavericks. And they're still standing.
Yeah.
They're still standing. The Knicks lead is now half a game. If you had the Spurs in 23, you lost.
Yeah.
The Rockets 103, Spurs 79. And the future is now.
Yes.
Here come the Devils. The Devils, 5 goals in the first period, beat Edmonton 6-1, the hottest team in hockey, losing only 2 in the last 22, and now only 2 points out of first place.
Wow.
The Devils. Finally, the National Football League should vote today on instant replay. 4 categories. Number 1, all fumbles and interceptions.
Right.
Number 2, all scoring plays. Number 3, all sideline and out-of-bounds plays. And number 4, too many men on the field. Each coach gets 2 videotape timeout replays per half. He'll say, let's go to the videotape. That's it. A referee on the field looks at the monitor. If the coach is right, they fix the play. If he's wrong, they take away one of his 3 timeouts.
All right.
The only problem is, suppose the coach has used up all of his videotape replays, and the last play of the game ends on a controversial play. He's out of luck.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got to be very judicious when you call these, whatever.
Absolutely.
Selective. You have to be very selective.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. He may ask the player.
What if he's out of timeouts and calls for one? What if he hasn't used his videotape replay requests, and then but he's used all of his timeouts, and then he calls for a videotape replay request? What happens then?
Not connected. You can't substitute.
I thought you said that he.
Final.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll give you 3 reasons.
All right, here we go.
Number 1, I graduated from American University. They're never going to be in there.
Okay.
So I have no team to root for. Number 2, I don't bet on the games.
Right.
And number 3, I don't have any relatives going to any of the schools.
Oh, okay.
I don't care who wins.
Oh, okay.
Right, boy. It makes no difference to me. Get the games over with. I hate them.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
And what's worse, we have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning before we do the news.
Oh, okay.
Because CBS is televising the games. Who's watching the news at 1 o'clock in the morning? Nobody.
Nobody's watching at 11 either one. By the way.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Dodge Neon.
Sinatra sings Smalls in his latest album release, No Biggie.
If you got the gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. 'Cause I see some ladies tonight who should be having my baby.
Sinatra, taking a musical journey through the gritty, violent world of the streets with brand new Nelson Riddle arrangements.
Your man's a wimp flying into all states, sexing me while your man masturbates.
There's nobody tougher than Frank.
While I'm swimming in your women like the breaststroke, death stroke, tongue all down her throat. Nothing left to do but send her home to you.
Ice-T, Ice Cube. Those homies are whack compared to Italian Ice, representing the Hoboken gangster flavor and giving props to Big Papa.
Scheming, don't leave your girl around me. True player for real, ask Puff Daddy.
Order now and get a Tupac, the Tupac Shakur tribute.
Bury me smiling with G's in my pocket. Let the hoes that I used to know kiss me from my head to my toe.
Frank Sinatra, No Biggie.
I'm not illin'. This is the ring-a-ding-ding real thing. Everybody in my crew, you oughta now. Capiche? It's death, Bobby. Word.
Frank Sinatra here on the Imus morning program.
Fine.
This is WFAN in New York. It is time for the local news. And with that, here's my friend Charles McCord. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, I-Man. In the headline stories, President Clinton calls a broader Senate program.
Wife, Deirdre Coleman. Hi, honey.
Hi, honey. I heard you talking about where we went last night.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, my God, that's an understatement. It's like bringing Helen Keller to an art exhibit. I mean, it's just...
Yes, but I mean...
Honey, it's so embarrassing when the Richard Ford was up there, Sam Shepard, actually, because, a lot of yucks coming out of him.
Yeah.
And people would be laughing, so I'd bend over and tell you what he said. And you laugh.
Shut up, you didn't either.
Literally 30 seconds after everyone else, and it's like, who's this idiot? He finally got it.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
You know what he does so he can hear better? He puts on his dark sunglasses.
That always works for me.
And he puts his head down. He sort of cocks it to the side. Thinking,
In the morning. Sports Radio 66 WFAN.
Well, I'm...
I don't care if it's easy to use a parachute. Those are for wimps.
So if life has gone, sir, the late General George S. Patton.
At ease, as you were. Today's briefing, people, Operation Jivegate. An update on the continued occupation of the executive branch of our government by forces hostile to the welfare of the state. Private, let's lower the illumination in here so as we can start the picture show. Give me a Biggie Smalls on that lighting array. Flip on the overhead projector. All right, cease fire. Cease fire! Any witnesses? No? Nobody saw anything? No. Suge Knight still in the can?
Yeah.
Very well. All right, people. A moment of truth has arrived. Here is what we face, shorn of any jive statements, such as mistakes were made and no controlling legal authority. A foreign power, through illegal campaign contributions, has tried to subvert the political process of the United States of America. You'll hear it 1,000 other ways, but that is the way it is. Give me the overhead, Private. Slide 1. The landmass you see here is that foreign power, China. Slide 2. And here is that foreign power's rebel base camp in the United States. Identification?
Sir, Avenue, Pennsylvania, 1600. That's the White House, sir.
Right. Or as we now know it, China West. And the individuals pictured in this photograph, glad-handing a half-dozen weasels named Juan Hookie, are the controlling gang of 4 who must be brought to bay. Can you name them?
Sir, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, Mike, I'll say anything McCurry, and Maggie the Money Williams, sir.
Excellent, Private. We believe these people to be China's top operatives in our country, who are supported by a network of subordinate subversives seen here. Rodham, Hillary, Hubble, Webster, Davis, Lanning, Reno, Janet, and a list of others nearly as long as the Lincoln bedroom sign-in sheet, but not quite. At the risk of exhibiting a militia mentality, we can no longer sit idly by and simply watch the Chinaization of our republic. It is time to take the choke chain off Senator Fred Thompson and restore the honor of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, as we knew it before a pack of Arkansas hayseeds turned it into Six Flags over Beijing. Speaking of matters of honor, let's turn our attention briefly to the pathetic attempt by the Cheyenne and Arapaho Indian tribes to do business with the Clintonista rebels. These saddle-sore saps actually thought if they gave $100 grand to the Democrats, they'd get back land stolen from them. Well, guess what? It's been stolen from them again. Memo to Gullible Feather and Dances with Shysters. You don't give $107,000 to the White Eyes. You start a casino with $100 grand and then take money from the White Eyes. How hard is this, running out of luck? No wonder you people lost the whole country. Conclusion. The only way to clean up the White House is to clean out the White House. Surgical masks, rubber gloves, Lysol, leg irons, and raincoats are in your field packs. And be vigilant, people. We already got Gulf War syndrome. We don't need China syndrome, too. Move out. Thank you for your attention. That is all.
Now, here's Rush Limbaugh to sing now.
Liberals are just like commies. You can't tell them apart. Think they're so progressive when they're all just big bleeding hearts. Tax the hard workers to give money to parasites that they never have to repay. Tell illegal aliens it's quite all right to be on welfare from cradle to grave. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Liberals like government handouts and hidden agendas. Like dropping trow in hotel rooms with girls of the night. They all feel guilty because they are so privileged and want to give it all up to the hopelessly needy. So if you don't want your young kids being left out, see that they stay to the right. Mamas, don't let your baby
to be liberals. They love homos and Negroes and Hebrews and such. They rob from the rich, think that we have too much. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause economy crunches with all their free lunches. They're giving the country away. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Don't let them start programs for social reform. Be narrow-minded to those who don't conform. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be liberals. Cause Bubba and Hillary are both prime examples, and they're giving our country away.
Rush Limbaugh here on the Imus in the Morning program. It's 24 till the hour. Coming up for...
Hey, Bubba, take this. I tripped over it in the hall.
What is it, Beavis?
$107,000.
Oh, that's the money those Cheyenne Arapaho Indians donated. I think we're supposed to be giving that back to them.
You're gonna give back $107,000? That's an awful lot of wampum.
Just a mere bag of shells, Beavis. They thought it was enough to return 7,500 acres of their land to them. Well, guess what? It's not. They want their land back. Old Stans with fists better put his hand in pocket.
Not enough for 7,500 acres? You could buy Manhattan 4,458 times over with that kind of money and still have around $8 left.
Maybe at 17th century prices, real estate's appreciated quite a bit in the last 300 years.
So, you took the money, but, didn't give them their land back. Isn't that breaking the agreement?
Well, yeah, but you're forgetting one thing, Beavis. They're Indians. I can't break a long-standing American tradition and start honoring pacts with Native Americans.
How can a man put a price on the sky, on the moon? How can a mortal sell the wind?
When Uncle Sam takes it from you, that's how. And if old Wines with checkbook wants it back, he better put a few more zeros on the end of that figure. Start up another casino, Tondo.
Beavis and Bubba here on the Imus in the Morning program. Senator John Kerry. Some answers out of him. He's coming up. And then Mike Francesa on the NCAA tournament on Monday. Maureen Dowd will report on the gridiron dinner. Uh-oh. Know what I'm talking about now, baby.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I need fun. All I want, that's what I want. All I want, that's what I want. All I want, that's what I want. Imus in the morning.
All right. Here's Kinky Friedman sending this out to my friend Pat Golf down there now in Paso, Texas.
We don't have no loving in El Paso. We don't go to porno picture shows. We don't swap our wives with our neighbors. And we keep our kids away from Mexico. And I'm proud to be an asshole.
some aspects of the righteous path, being from Little Rock and Tulsa and Wichita and Fargo and Bakersfield and all the rest of them places where children of God know what a farmer's tan is. And then a plumber's crack and a clever riposte out of some loser who's down on all fours snaking out your septic lateral. My ministry, however, offers some unique opportunities for further sharing your faith that y'all might not be familiar with. Basically, I bring you the word, you bring me the way. I'm asking you to rid yourself of the root of all evil, friends. Yes, sir, stack that heathen you know what up and cast it onto me. Do not be sending the fruit of your labors off to Jimmy Swaggart or Jim Baker or Brother Oil and his kid. Send it to Dr. Billy Saul Hargison. You ain't gonna get no hold my breath till I turn blue. Jerusalem timeshare, limited partner, dancing dozen water slide jive. Dearly beloved, funk that. You ain't gonna get no Brother Swagger deal neither. Watching some short stay Sally riding him side saddle in a Bayou flop house while he monkey spanks his one-eyed idol harder than Bill Clinton hamming his lecture for that goofball hallucinating Hank, the doctor whose mind is blank. Jim Baker ain't gonna be trying to buy your child's underwear with it either. And Oral ain't gonna wind up with an attitude sitting on top of a condom vendor or an ATM machine refusing to come down, praise God. No, sir, you send me your tithes, offerings, and love pledges, friend, and you know what I'm going to do with it? Spend it. It's all in my book, God's Other Son, soon to be available in paperback with an attractive holy poster pull-out of Dr. Hargis, by the way. So let's close her out with a simple statement of fiscal philosophy, all right, friends? Oral once said if you didn't send him money, he'd die. And I say, friends, if you don't send me money, you'll die. Tell the truth now. Avoid a plague of trouble and unnecessary strife. My message is light and simple. Your money or your life. Can I get an amen now?
If Jesus came to your house to spend a day or two, if he came without warning, I wonder what you'd do. Imus in the morning.
When you hear the all-new 1997
precipitous decline. And then Mr. Arledge uttered a fateful phrase. 5 simple words that bring into sharp question whether the effort to get this load out of there hadn't come a few years too late. The words uttered by Mr. Arledge, even as he was being upsized, were these. I'm still in charge here. Once the saddest words uttered by anyone were these. It might have been. No longer. Now, the most pathetic words that can be strung together in the English language are, I'm still in charge here. Jesus, what a fool. Mr. Arledge, that's what I said, right up until the moment when I walked onto the set of the CBS Evening News and found an unhinged Texan drooling in my chair. His name? Dan Rather. If you'll permit an observation by this gnarled old newshound, you're not in charge of anything. It's over. The Barnacle bus is in your driveway awaiting one more passenger. You're no more in charge of ABC News than David Helfgott is of a Steinway. You're not in charge of the coffee wagon. What the hell? If you think you're in charge, then you're not even in charge of your faculties. It's Loon Arledge. And the incontrovertible proof is revealed in the fact that you felt you had to say that you are in charge. For the moment you have to make that assertion, it's an admission you have no control whatsoever, or you wouldn't have had to say it in the first place.
Yeah.
And so I say to my beef-headed colleague, take your pension, your AARP card, and your preposterous power posturing, and get out. And as you go, gather up Sam Donaldson, Ted Koppel, Peter Jennings, and for God's sake, Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters. Donaldson, Koppel, and Jennings are all about to go on saline solutions. And the only possible way to make the Downs and Walters thing work any longer would be to change the name of their show from 2020 to 8080 and run it in the day rooms of facilities where the audience puts peas in its nose. Mr. Arledge, time to head for where the spindly dogs pursue the funny bunny. Oh, and sit in the last row, so we might still say, yes, there's Roon at the top. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you, and get out.
And who have they put in charge? They put in charge David Weston. And what's happening with David Weston? Well, according to George Rush and Joanna Malloy in Russia Malloy, their column in the New York Daily News. This is a guy whose life is in who is in hideous personal turmoil.
Disarray, aye, man.
His marriage, his wife's blown up. They got 3 kids. They'll be pulled apart. Their little lives ruined.
Yep.
And that goof Ed Rollins, who's an occasional guest on this program, we like old Ed, helped him sell his book and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He and Sherry, now old Sherry, they've split up. And Sherry's working over there at ABC News under, literally, it turns out, David Weston.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're sneaking around, licking on one another, probably, each other. And the worst kept secret in the business that they've been they're getting naked, apparently.
Well, I don't think that's necessary. They've been having a relationship and a situation.
And then this is a guy who's going to run ABC News, and his life's a mess. And then poor old Ed, who knows what Ed might do?
That ain't going to be no distraction, is it?
Ed's no wussy, Ed's liable to just storm in there with...
It's a boxer, for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
A pugilist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kick somebody, you know what I'm saying?
So, I mean... when things turn around on you, like apparently they have at ABC News, the whole thing, just the wheels come off the wagon.
There you go. It's a white widow situation, darn near.
By the way, this book by Jim Lair, I know I've been talking about that for 2 weeks, but... Well, not quite. Well, it's the super...
Speaking of that, the President of the United States, and y'all call me Al.
A man walks down the street, he's wearing a dog collar. He says, you need a lot of dollars if you want another term in the presidency. How about selling photo opportunities, a night in a Lincoln bedroom? It's not like grand theft, it's more like petty larceny. Fundraisers, coffee breaks and slumber parties. Turn the White House into a co-ed dorm. Mr. McCurry, get the press away from me, I'm all for this sweeping campaign reform. You give me your money card, and I will be your long-lost pal. Influence is ready, your president is calling. Show me the money now. A man walks down the street, he says, how come I'm vice president? Don't want to be vice president. Want to be the guy who's in charge. Want to be the first family. Got to make a dime here. But how am I going to campaign unless my campaign funds are large? Ducking all of them hard questions with that no control and legal authority jive. He made some calls. Mistakes were made and accidents. Now, indictments and allegations. You give me your money card, and I will be your long-lost pal. I got some already. Vice President is calling. You can call him out. He's calling. A man walks down the street, been living on a reservation. He's got strong reservations, cause I'm not fluent in his native tongue, but he speaks my kind of language, cause he's got a lot of currency, just like that foreign man, the Occidental tourist Johnny Chung was stung. Seems there's a small chink in the armor, giving 50 G's to Maggie Williams. Fat lady sung, Chinese checkers in the legislature, while the CIA and FBI don't tell nothing to nobody. You give me your money card, and I will be your long-lost pal. 'Cause I got some already, and if Freddie Thompson calls me, he can call me an Al. Call me an Al. You give me your money card.
song of yours? Do you have a favorite song, and do you have a favorite recording?
My favorite song and my favorite recording is Graceland.
What did you think of the version you and Roy did with Willie Nelson?
I liked it. I told Willie Nelson about that song before I released my album. I said, it's a good story for you, you know. And he said, well, send it over. So I did, and I never heard from him.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Finally, I ran into him, and I said, so like what, nothing, right? On that, he said, no, great. Anytime you got another tune, anything you want to send me, send it.